Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I am channeling this full moon in Libra energies. And so the moon is now in Libra. The full moon will not be exact until tomorrow in my local area, but we're definitely in the full moon in Libra energies. And so it's very intense. The third eye pressure around my head is like unbelievable. And so today on April the 5th, we have the Sun conjunct Chiron. And so this is going to bring an awareness of all of this, what I feel repressed anger has been kind of stuffed down when it comes to these past hurts. And so we have to release that sacred rage in order to take those positive steps forward in our life, right? And so the energies are bringing forward this deep sense, I feel, of unworthiness, or maybe you might feel unworthy of the people who love you. But this aspect can bring forward an inspiring energy, but it will depend on the level of frustration you've got in your life and how much you're willing to deal with the issues that this transit is illuminating. And so the energy right now is pointing to deep spiritual wounding from past lives. And so these spiritual wounds are very tough to heal. And so likely we have no idea why we have this core wound until it comes into our conscious awareness. And so what appears to be perfect on the outside in a lot of these karmic relationship cycles, I gotta say, below the surface, there's a deep emptiness and intense loneliness in these karmic relationships, which has created like this cosmic, collective emotional paralysis. And this can last our whole lifetime if we're unwilling to unearth all of this repressed anger and emotions. And so with this transit today, it could mean a reappearance of a teacher or a guru or a healer in your life who's maybe been away for a long time, like in a separation energy. And so with the Sun conjunct Chiron, this is the collective calling to confront and heal this pain once and for all, because any pain that's in question is likely causing all kinds of negative reactions in your physical and your emotional life, whether this is self-inflicted or handed to you by another. If we don't learn how to channel our energies productively, we will keep repeating these patterns filled with anger, depression, and addiction. And so with the energies today, get ready to face a problem. And when we play into anger and depression and addictions, it will take a toll on our physical vessel. And so this can lead to chronic headaches, it can lead to an accident, chronic illnesses, problems with the blood. And so when we're not at our best optimal health, it makes it even more difficult to deal with these certain karmic situations. And so the mental nature, I feel, of this energy is really important to consider, right? Because it is all about self-perception in a certain degree, right? And so I do feel this strong sense of, hey, I have a purpose on this planet and I got to figure out what it is at this time is what's coming through. And so as difficult as these energies are to be working with, it is signaling the end of one phase of your life to prepare for that second new moon in Aries. And so something has to end, something has to die away when it comes to these wounds and this healing journey. And when it comes to maybe dealing with another person, you might find it hard to see the other side, right? The other side, especially if you're a very sensitive, empathic, nurturing being. And so the goal of all of these energies kind of colliding, creating this perfect storm, is what it feels like, is basically to say, we're here to make our life count. We're here to make every second of every day count. And we're here to bring a positive meaning to every other human interaction that we have, for everybody that we meet, because we can hold the hopes and the dreams of the future in our hands. And so the energies are demanding an understanding of this very painful karmic lesson. Chiron is a karmic lesson, a painful lesson. And it does require you to face the wounds, to face the facts. And so subconsciously, there's this urge to break down all of the veils of these preconceived conceptions and all of these modern conventional structures in order to understand and discover the roots of who we are and where we came from. And so the roots of our cosmic ancestry is what I'm feeling. And so this is going to be a hard time for a lot of people in the collective is what I'm feeling, because there's massive changes. And if you're not willing to experience this change yet, it's going to be difficult, right? So if you're feeling off balance, or maybe your ego's been recently injured, maybe because you were forced out of your comfort zone by some karmic life circumstances, this is the pivot point, guys. This is the moment in time. You can either learn how to grow and expand, or you can choose to be like a wounded victim forever. We all have the choice, right? I don't want to be a wounded victim forever because I didn't do anything about my healing journey, right? And so there are two types of people in the world: those that take the pain and learn and grow and turn it into gold, or those that play the wounded victim forever and don't do anything about it but blame, shame, and victim shame and stuff. And so I do feel there's a special kind of anguish coming through in the collective today, forcing us to cope with this pain and this suffering that others have inflicted on us. And so, do you have the courage to face and resolve these painful situations that have been plaguing your life? Because this Libra full moon tomorrow is all about relationships, cord cutting, and all of that fun stuff. And so this Libra full moon is putting all of your relationships under a spotlight. How do you choose to show up in a relationship? Are you bringing out the best in yourself in a relationship? Are you in a relationship that brings out the worst in you? What beliefs do you have that you need to kind of shed so you can stop being this less of a person and you can step into being more? And so this full moon is going to illuminate for many people where they need to enter into this new healing vibration, because a lot of people are lacking confidence, they're lacking support, they're feeling like they're not seen and they're not heard. And so you might get that boost of confidence over the coming days to shift out of a negative relationship cycle that's no longer serving you and your highest self, your highest ideals. And so Chiron is working very closely under this full moon, is very active, right? That wounded healer, and that's why I mentioned that. And so Chiron is supporting us to kind of step back and be the observer. Be the observer of your wound. Because our wounds are always guiding the relationships that we call into our life. And so if we're not choosing to show up in a positive way, then we're gonna keep manifesting negative relationship interactions. And so when we stay in this pity party, this energy of self-loathing, oh, poor pitiful me, then our wounds kind of keep us stuck from being fully present. And if we're not fully present, then we really haven't built an authentic relationship with ourselves, and therefore we cannot build an authentic relationship with another in a divine essence. And so we don't want to keep allowing our wounds to hold us back. And so it's a reminder, right? These wounds will exist. And let me just say, some wounds are just too deep to ever be healed. And that wound for me was the twin flame activation. And so sometimes, you know, it is hard to heal something that you know can never, ever be fixed. But we can still exist on this physical plane with these wounds and still come from a place of wholeness, love, and connection with others, right? And so when we accept our wounds, when we love the parts of us that maybe we didn't really understand, when we accept that, hey, there's going to be this forever wound that's never going to heal, but I have the power to mold myself into a truer, authentic version of myself because of this wound, 9/11. That needed to be mentioned for somebody. And so it's through our own inner Chiron wound that we truly have a gift of becoming a healer, a teacher, and an intuitive. And so our wounds offer us this gift, right? And so we can walk through life with this deep-seated wounding, and we can still live an amazing, loving, and purposeful life. And I'm proof of that, right? And so Libra is asking us to step into doing the work to heal these relationship cycles, to recognize, despite no matter all of the trauma and the pain that you've been through, and it ain't a tit for tat whose trauma was worse than the other. We all have trauma. We all agreed to heal certain aspects within our family lineage on this journey of healing. And so when we recognize the wound, then we can step into a state of wholeness despite the pain, right? And it's from this place of wholeness that we can make more meaningful, authentic connections with others. And so the Aries Libra polarity axis is all about relationships. Aries is me, the self, and Libra is we, the other people in our lives. And so Aries is asking us to find an ounce of self-assertion to do what is right for us, and Libra is all about balance, justice, and compromise. And so I had my spontaneous Kundalini activation between the double full moon portal in 2019. I went through a spiral of ascension 2 years ago, my second 3 days spiral of ascension 2 years ago, and now this portal, we're in between the Aries new moon portal. So for me, I feel I'm reaching a place of balance, this Libra full moon. It's been 4 years. And I feel like I've finally reached that state of wholeness once again, right? And I've built so many newfound authentic connections after releasing everything prior to my awakening. And I'm so forever grateful for that. Speaking of connections, I had a friend come over yesterday. And I love doing readings, but she brought me this beautiful gift. It kind of almost looks like a little bit of a dragon head shape from this angle, a little bit, right? This angle, not so much. And so I put this on my dresser, and so this is pink tourmaline, and pink tourmaline represents unconditional love, right? She must have known that I needed this for the next level of my emotional healing and self-love journey, and so this pink tourmaline will kind of bring forward this newfound passion. It inspires passion, it inspires loyalty and respect, and it is used to attract a new relationship. So I'm calling in somebody that's going to be friendly, charming, tactful. I want somebody that is going to not cave and run under the heat of pressure, right? And so I just thought perfect timing for that gift. And so I was very appreciative of that. And so I am a Black Moon Lilith in Libra, and so I had so much sacred rage from all of the imbalances within my life and my relationships, stemming back from my parents' divorce, my mother's remarriage, and then all of the distortion. I had to go through several negative relationship cycles and carry this burden that wasn't mine, right, for a very long time. And so I feel I'm ready to finally strike that balance this Libra full moon, and I can meet my personal needs, I can meet the needs of my clients and the collective, and I've reached this level of personal autonomy and independence. And so that's what this Libra energy is asking us to do. It's all about equality, right? Or the lack thereof. And so if there's a lack of equality, if there's a lack of authentic values in your life, then this full moon might illuminate a lot of conflict too, right? Because I do feel there's going to be a lot of relationship epiphanies over the coming weeks. A revelation about, are you independent? Do you rely on others a little bit too much within partnerships? Because we need to rely on our partner to a certain degree, but we also cannot be codependent in relationships, because then it creates bitterness, resentment, a lack of equality. And so bottom line is, we are on a spiritual healing path as a collective. And right now, the energies are asking us, where can you gain a better sense of equality and balance in your life? We're not here to look for validation or outside feedback. We're here to trust and acknowledge our inner knowing and what this means for our relationship to ourselves and our relationship with others. And so all of the planets are direct. And so this is allowing this freeing of the burdens. And so I just want to throw it out there. This is huge for the cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So look at where you have cardinal energy in your chart, whether it's in your planets or in your housing. These are the personal planets and the points within the housing that are going to be affected most significantly. So for me, Cancer is my 5th house. It is related to my children, my house of creativity. It is related to where I take risks within relationships. My ex Karmic was a Cancer moon. My divine counterpart is a Cancer sun. And so a lot of intertwining there, right? And so I had to travel through the dark side of the moon in the karmic relationship to get back to the light with the counterpart, is how I see the journey. So this Libra full moon is all about cutting those cords, forging deeper connections, and not being afraid to release anything that isn't in alignment anymore. And so the Libra energy is so strong, we have to be careful not to lose ourselves in a relationship. And how many times have I done that? I've lost who I was in a relationship, then I become bitter and I become resentful, and I don't want to go there anymore within relationships. And so I've gone through a psycho-spiritual scrub over the last 4 years as a necessary part of the awakening journey to find myself. Something in myself that nobody else can take from me. And so if you find yourself lost in the grips of another in a relationship, it's time to get to the other side. It's time to wake up and to connect to who you really are. And so we can easily become enmeshed within relationships, and then we forget who we are and what our values and our passions are. And so I feel the collective is being called this Libra full moon to do a powerful cord cutting ritual. And in cord cutting rituals, we release any cords of connections that have kept us stuck in these old limiting beliefs. And so when we do a cord cutting ritual, and you can Google cord cutting rituals, usually your higher self knows how to do these rituals. And so we're not like exiling the other person, we're severing the energy ties. And so every time we choose to look back at the past, and every time we interact with another, we are creating an energetic cord. And so we have to simply go in and sever all of these energy ties that we create with everybody, right? And so that's what I feel is being asked of us this full moon. And with Jupiter really strongly connected to the full moon energies, this is beneficial because Jupiter expands, but it's going to really magnify what it is you need to pay attention to so you can take action once and for all. I feel like this is the pivot point. You can choose to evolve beyond these relationship cycles, or you can choose to fall back and not change at all. And so with Jupiter's qualities, bring forward this heightened energy this full moon, it's going to be easier for us to observe where we need to cut people out of our lives and where we need to lean in a little bit deeper of not being afraid to be independent. And so Jupiter's going to make something crystal clear is what I feel this full moon. It's going to highlight the positive, and it's also going to highlight the negative. And so what I want to say is when we come from a place of appreciation and gratitude for the life lessons, then we can see the silver lining that surrounds us, right? And we usually don't see it when we're in the thick of it, guys. And so I do feel this Libra full moon is all about the power of the divine feminine goddess, is what I've been shown, is what I'm feeling. And so how can you harness your own goddess energy? Because there are very strong feminine influences connected to this full moon in Libra. So Libra is ruled by Venus, the goddess of love. Taurus is also ruled by Venus. And so, and we got the Taurus North Node. And so there are very strong feminine influences, actually two with this full moon. Eris, E-R-I-S, which is the goddess of discord and strife, which would represent Eve, the fall, the darkness. And then there is the asteroid Vesta, which would represent the divine feminine, which is an asteroid named after the goddess of hearth and fire. And I think earth and fire. And so when we go through this integration process, we have to master the elements, right? Earth, water, air, and fire, like the magician does. And so there's a lot of goddess influence forces playing out over the coming days. And so the goddess Eris of discord and strife, she has to come in and create some type of destruction, right? In order for this discord to be felt so we can take action to restore our lives to a sense of harmony with the Vesta energy. And so There's going to be exposure. There's going to be a lot of releasing of things from your life if that hasn't already taken place. And so this is where perception comes in when it comes to all of this discord and this chaos and this conflict. And so there's all of this goddess energy circling the collective, the higher collective, in order for us to see these issues where gender equality has not been met. And a lot of the women, I feel, have been stripped of a lot of their reproductive rights presently within the collective. And so this is triggering some sacred rage, right? Without the feminine, there is no life. I want to say that. The feminine has been shunned, has been abused, has been, stuffed down, repressed, and oppressed for generation after generation. Without the feminine, there is no life. We are the givers of life. We carry souls in our womb, and we are a portal of birth. Without the feminine in the collective, we don't have humanity. And so the masculine collective needs an overhaul when it comes to this lack of equality and respecting the feminine as the goddess that she is. And so Vesta is this very soft, gentle energy. And if I remember correctly, I believe Vesta is in Virgo right now. And so the feminine is the antidote for the discord, the fall of the garden, Eve. And so a lot of the twin flame counterparts, the masculines are in a karmic cycle with like an Eve type energy, creating discord and strife. And the feminine is there to remind the masculine to return home, to center, to find your inner flame, your inner fire. And this Libra full moon represents truth, justice, equality, authenticity. Who are you without all of these layers of program beliefs that society and your parents' expectations have projected onto you? That's a tough one, right? Because all of this energy around this full moon is saying, it's time to recognize the wholeness that you are as your own spiritual entity. It's really time to seek those deeper, meaningful spiritual connections and to cut the cords with anybody creating discord, keeping you stuck, or anybody that likes to create or honor discord or drama or tension. Where can you harness your inner fire, or like the violet flame, to seek these deeper connections? So I'm going to pull in with some cards. We're going to see what needs to come through. This is not twin flame. This is general collective. And so also keep in mind, this is not sign specific, but I will call out any zodiac signs that need mentioning. And so we're going to start off with my Star Codes Astro Oracle deck today. I want to try and keep it short and sweet. I've got a day of readings booked. And so Pallas Athena. Somebody's been thinking, right? Pallas Athena. And Athena came through in my last divine masculine twin flame reading. I will see if I can take it to the end. But somebody's been thinking. Pallas Athena is also linked to husband and wife energy, I feel. And so somebody's been thinking. And I feel there is going to be a confrontation. Some type of confrontation in order to explore the depths of your subconscious mind. Ninth house exploration. So we're going to get some Astro Oracle messages to start. And then I'm going to, I was asked to combine my Starseed Oracle deck with my Work Your Light Oracle deck today. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Because I do feel there are a lot of collective activations and nothing wanted to come through. Wow. Expand. So that's the Sagittarius energy. Jupiter's ruler is Sag. So 9, this is where when we get to the 9, we're closing out this cycle. It's time to get back on track in a new cycle. And then we get Libra. And this Libra full moon is at 16 degrees 07. There's going to be a tower. 7 is the energy of truth seeking. 7 is the number of the mystic. And so we have to break down all of these old beliefs in order to step into our mystic healing capabilities. And so this Libra full moon is rebalancing. And it is very debilitating. I gotta say, it's actually going to be very, very uncomfortable. There's that pivot point. There's that crossroads. Which path are you going to choose? And so below that, we get the first house, the arrival. And this is the gateway to our past lives. This is probably the most prominent part of the zodiac chart would be the ascendant. So this is the doorway to past lives. And then below that, we get the south node. And so we're breaking free from these old past karmic patterns. And right now with the south node in Scorpio, you know, south node in Scorpio is very spiritually gifted, but at the same time, Scorpio can be very manipulative. They don't like to, you know, put all their cards on the table. And so this can mean like your need to try and control and manipulate somebody to be with you. And I'm sorry, but if you have to control and manipulate somebody to want to be with you, that's not your person. That's not unconditional love. And so I feel we're at this pivot point of stepping into the gateway of leadership is kind of what it feels like. And so the guides want me to read the Libra energy out of the book. How fitting that Libra would pop through for this new moon energy. And because it is a 7 and we are in the year of 7 and truth speaking, I just feel there's a lot to digest, right? And so I feel there's going to be some type of conflict that is going to erupt in order for healthy equilibrium to be established. And so I do feel, you know, these status quo foundations can be aesthetically misleading, right? Because everybody puts their perfect life on social media, and aesthetically it might look good, but inside the home it's probably shallow, feeling incomplete, and loneliness, and loveless. And so there's always a better way, right? The gift in the balance is when we live in alignment with the right relationships and with the right people, then we can benefit the entire world and the ecosystem with all of this spiritual energy. So I think get ready to become aware of a person in your life that really has brought forward a really biased opinion that you've taken to heart that maybe led you astray. And so there can be no justice in your life if there's no peace, and justice only knows peace and wants balance. And so look at the whole situation that you're in right now. Is everybody in this relationship above board? Is kind of what I'm seeing here. So there's going to be a release of all of this past life baggage is kind of what it feels like. Oh, I don't have that deck in that box. So I am going to combine my Starseed Oracle deck with the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and we're going to see how this goes. So baby steps. So this is the energy of following your intuition. It doesn't have to make sense. But when you second guess your intuition and you doubt it, that's when you're going to get led astray. The crumbling. And so there it is. Everything unaligned must go. And so it does. It feels like a crumbling. And the old world kind of has to crumble away in order for this new world to kind of be birthed. So this is going to make a really big deck, guys. But we're going to see what needs to come through with these messages. So we're going to get collective messages. So the karmic relationship, and that come out in a reading I did the other day as well. So there's a lot of distorted polarities, Orion energy, Orion starseed energy. When it comes to these karmic relationships coming through, there's going to be conflict, and through conflict and struggle, we do experience soul growth, right? And so we're cutting the cords of these karmic relationships. And so there's that hermit energy. And so a lot of us have to go through many, many years of physical isolation. And that's the hermit energy. And so I feel we're at that point where it's time to come out of the closet, come out of the spiritual closet, and to get connected within the community. And we're not alone, right? So I'm going to see what else needs to come through. more shuffle, and we'll see what other messages need to come through, and then we'll jump in with the tarot, guys. So it's looking like the Rose Oracle, or the Work Your Light, didn't really come through other than this one. So Palladian light code activations, and so there's that cracked open. And so what I want to say is, when we go through the crumbling or the bottoming out, and we have a major event, whether it's a job loss, a relationship ending, or death in the family, it is to crack us open for us. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And so a lot of higher light codes are coming in. A lot of us have a double mission. A lot of us are channelers, and a lot of us are, you know, gatekeepers, and we're here to activate ley lines. And we do have a calling to uplift the human collective. And so somebody here needs to release a hidden addiction. I feel somebody's been coping in the dark night of the soul in a very dense addictive cycle, and so it is a release of the addictions. I feel somebody's been going down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole, falling deeper and deeper in a cycle of addictions. And so it is in the shadows, in the darkness, though, that we do acquire all of this lost wisdom, these hidden secrets. And so a deeper look, something about Egypt, the pyramids. So Isis and Osiris has really been coming through a lot. And so there's that baby steps again. And this is like the Fool. And so I think something around that first new moon in Aries said, hey, this has got to go. And now we're going through a purge and release. And that's what full moons do. They release. And so there's a lot of light codes being released for the purging. And as these higher codes come in, we do have to purge the lower dense vibrations within our emotional body. And so we are bringing all of this unconscious memory to the light, into our conscious awareness. And so that does remind me, because of all of the Isis and Osiris energies that have been coming through, and Athena, let's get a couple of these before we jump into the tarot, the goddess of Isis. So what else do we need to know with these energies? And so there's the temple of the black obsidian. So this is where we rise as that divine reborn child. We're all children of the divine, right? We are all born of innocence. We are all born of unconditional love. And so I do feel the next 2 weeks are going to be a very dark healing chamber. So black obsidian might help you work through any shadowy aspects as we're about to give birth. And so there's that third eye activation that I felt. I've been feeling this energy destabilizing around the third eye as the veils have been lifted. And so the Eye of Horus, which is the third eye awakening, and we're awakening to all of these divine perceptions. And so it's like everything is buckling below, is what it feels like. Everything is bottoming out. And so we do have to have a proper burial for the old us, right? In order to step into freedom. And so we've got the sacrifice to Osiris, the Lord of the Dead. And so I do feel a collective divine masculine death energy. And the masculine, I feel, is very destabilized, buckling at the knees when it comes to this beloved connection. So the spinning energy. So spinning out of control as the third eye awakens. And so the cracked open is a bottoming out energy, guys. So we're going to use the Archangel Power Tarot cards today, is what I was asked to use today. And so there's that Three of Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, Three of Wands. And so this is about taking that action, right? Three of Wands is, Two of Wands is, I know where I need to go. I've made the decision. Three of Wands is, okay, I've had time to plan to take the action, and now it's time to take that next step. And, you know, the more positive you are about taking that leap, even though you might not know exactly where that leap is going to take you, things will turn out better than expected. And so we can't keep hoarding. When we give, we also receive, right? And so somebody's been withholding. Somebody's been very, very resistant to this rebirth and this change. And so there's a lot of extremes when it comes to a new beginning in love. And there's the goddess. There's the empress. There's the goddess. creativity rewarded. I do feel abundant rewards, abundant resources washing over the collective for the divine feminine goddesses who have healed, right? So let's see what else needs to come through. I am going to do a 9-card spread today. I haven't done that in a while. So we're going to do 9 cards. We're going to see what's coming through over the coming days with this Libra full moon energy. And it'll be felt probably for the coming weeks. So might be going through a huge purge over the coming weeks to prepare for that second Aries new moon. So just be gentle with yourselves. Truth. The sword of truth. Victory. The six of wands. The Queen of Pentacles. Victory for the feminine, I feel. Victory. Divine guidance. We've got divinely guided change. The Two of Swords. So, you know, this is like sparring it out. This is the crossroads. A decision will have to be made within the next 2 days to 2 weeks. It will be better for everybody involved if you just decide to make a decision and to stop over analyzing. And so we get the Queen of Michael. We get the Page of Gabriel, which is a brand new beginning. Brand new beginning. Beautiful. And then we get the Page of Ariel. So fresh new energy because it's time. So if you've been doing the work, if you've been investing on your healing journey, you've invested wisely is what I want to say. If you've had patience, waiting for the harvest to arrive, it's time. It's time to plant the seeds for the next leg of the journey. So release any worry. And that's that 9 of Swords. Release any worry to the angels. Focus your thoughts on what it is that you do want rather than what you don't want. This is the time of releasing feelings of guilt, regret, shame, and fear, and giving the worry to the angels because we are closing out these karmic cycles. This is the moment of time where it kind of comes full circle. And so everything is coming full circle when it comes to the collective spiritual growth and insights that we're receiving. And it will lead to a happy ending. But once again, there's the Two of Pentacles. It's important that we have balance in our lives. It's important that we have balance when we're working on multiple projects and in multiple groups all at once. And we're here to make work fun, right? And when you're doing what you love, it really doesn't feel like work. And so there's going to be an epiphany, some truth coming in. So any bumps in the road, any upheaval or chaos, don't allow it to hinder you stepping forward into this truth. There's going to be clear communication coming and maybe to clear up any issues or problems with people in the past. And it will lead to victory with the Six of Wands. So what I want to say is congratulations, you've done it. You've done it. It's time to move on to the next level, the next project for your mission. So awards, rewards, and this Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Ariel, is receiving an abundance of rewards. We're talking about a Queen of Coins here that knows how to nurture herself, knows how to nurture those that she loves. She's got the ability to make anything grow, to make anything beautiful, practical, gives wise advice, and likely has a connection to God, right? To a direct connection to the divine. So there's going to be a shift in these unions, is what it feels like. The Hierophant, it is a 5 card, a change. So this is where we go into this search for this deep meaning in our life, and we consider an alternative path, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again in the same relationship cycle, expecting different results, and then it's enough to make you lose your mind. And so you need to surround yourself with wise spiritual teachers, friends, and healers, or maybe it's time for you to step into being a wise teacher, healer, and friend for the collective. But it is decision time, and we can't keep over-analyzing everything in our life, because then we're never going to take that action, right? And so somebody here knows exactly what they need to do with the Queen of Swords. Somebody here is brilliant, self-reliant, mature, insightful, generous, happy, humorous. She knows exactly what she needs to do to benefit from all of these life experiences. And so the Queen of Swords is honest, authentic, career-driven. And so maybe it is a time for you personally to maybe focus more on your career than a relationship, and that's okay. So I do feel a feminine here, and you could be a man harnessing your inner feminine that has an opportunity for a clean slate, a new beginning. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, and so the energy is saying you've got to be brave. You've got to be brave enough to follow your passions and to face all of these challenges head on, because there is an opportunity for a brand new cycle, to start a brand new life. So what of your old life needs to go away? This is a moment where the collective is finding their purpose, is what I feel. And we do need to forgive and review the past with compassion. And so brand new opportunity. There's that clean slate, right? The page, and then the 7 is the 8. So what do you want to invest in? I do feel it's time to get to work is what it feels like. So let's clarify the 2 of Michael, or the 2 of Swords, because I do feel Archangel Michael is working with the collective, with the cord cutting, and that's who you want to connect with. So wow, we got a Queen of Cups coming through. This is like pure goddess energy coming through, the 4 of Cups, and peace. And so there is a divine feminine here that I feel has been going through a rebirth process, has been releasing the past, and has been letting it all go and giving it to God. And so this is going to bring forward a very enriched, loving future. The Queen of Cups is kind, understanding, right? Giving and empathic. The Queen of Cups follows her heart. And I feel we're talking to a feminine that's been repressed. The feminine collective has been repressed. The 4 of Cups speaks of depression, repression, soul suppression. And so the feminine collective has been repressed for a very long time. The feminine, the true divine feminine, loves her home, loves her family, is trustworthy, receives all kinds of psychic information. And I feel maybe over the last 4 years, there's been a divine feminine going through this rebirth process. And it is coming full circle. So when we go into the 4 of Cups, this is where we go into the void, and we have to find our own inner magic in our life. This is also where we have to become aware of our own emotions. Nobody is in control of your emotions but you. And so I do feel as somebody fully releases the past and gives it to God, that new beginning is right around the corner, and the end of delays. The wheel is spinning everything forward, and there's going to be a change in a positive direction that will lead to blessings. So within the next 2 days or 2 weeks, love and blessings are going to fill a divine feminine's life. Could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But we usually all have all of these energies somewhere in our chart. So we all have the choice to free ourselves from these old paradigms. I actually see a King of Coins here that needs to free himself from a toxic cycle. I see a King of Ariel here that needs to make a change, choose to make a change. He's not been seeing things clearly. He's been trapped in an illusion of his mind. And we do have a true pair. The King and Queen of Pentacles, they're business owners. They're leaders. They're nurturers. They're professionals, and they can together build a lot of financial success. But there does need to be acknowledgement of a past betrayal here. Something is coming to a complete end, and there is a King of Pentacles here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that is finally going to be free from a karmic cycle. And this will lead to a new opportunity for happiness with the soulmate. But if they don't follow the plan and they don't put the past behind them, it might be difficult. So the angels are saying, hey, it's time to lighten your load. It's time to lay down this burden. Maybe somebody's been working too hard and trying to please too many people, going through a period of loneliness due to disillusionment. And it is time to make that decision. It's time to be clear on what it is that we want. And it's time to take action. There is a need for detoxification in this masculine's life, is what it feels like. And so there's going to be healing. There's going to be healing. Dreams are coming true, but we are going to have to believe in ourselves, and we are going to have to release and end these difficult karmic situations if we are to build those legacies for the future. And so the promise of financial success and a rich and rewarding family life. But we have a masculine here that really, really needs to open up. You know, when divine counterparts come into union, we have the ability to create so many beautiful things all at once. So I do feel it is safe for us to open up to these divine unions. It is safe for us to follow our creative passions and to keep an eye on the bigger picture. So let's get one last message with the romance angels, since this is a relationship axis. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner that you seek. So take a step back, retreat, be the observer. I do feel an alchemical marriage. Somebody needs to pay attention to the signs, because they've been warning somebody. Don't mind my little band-aid, I hurt my hand. And so if financial issues are a factor right now and you're struggling financially, that's a clear indication you're in a karmic cycle, because when you are aligned, everything flows. So we're gonna need to trust, and we're gonna have to have faith, and we're gonna have to just trust that intuition and take that leap of faith if we're to arrive where it is we're going to meet our destiny point at. And that's kind of what I have for the full moon in Libra, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below. I still have the sale on. Perfect opportunity to dig a little bit deeper, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful full moon in Libra, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thanks, everybody.